360 3D is one of the world's largest 3D experiences, which plays out over 40 feet tall and 180 feet wide. This attraction was designed by Peter Jackson and his production team at Corral, and they've been awarded 6 Academy Awards for their work in special effects for movies like King Kong, Avatar, Rise of Planet of the Apes, the Lord of the Rings trilogy, the Jungle Book live-action movie, and several Star Wars, Marvel, and DC films as well.
With a project like Studio Tour, the audience is in the middle of the environment. They're looking in all directions, there's creatures coming at them, they're seeing Kong from this side and T-Rexes from the other side.
Really, we always know that people are looking straight ahead, they're looking at a shot, they're looking on, you have to take into account they're looking in all directions. Also, one of the things about this ride and the movies that we used to working on, there's no cuts, because it's one giant shot, this tram that's driving along through Skull Island where the camera's from. This ring represents where the screen is 10 meters away. They really created about 50 minutes of features. That amount of visual information, that number of pixels, and presenting them to the audience.
During our trip through Skull Island, you probably noticed that one of the cars that is part of our tram got ripped apart and thrown right into the middle of the action on screen, turning it into what is known as a picture car. Any sort of vehicle that appears in movies or TV, and sometimes these vehicles become even more famous than the actors that drive them. Here at Universal Studios, we've created countless of these very famous picture cars. Have your cameras ready, because coming up on the left-hand side, you'll be able to see some of these cars. Some of my favorites are here near the end. You'll see one of the Mercedes-Benz vehicles from the Lost World Jurassic Park, the Gyrosphere from Jurassic World, and a Jeep Wrangler Sahara that appears both in the first Jurassic Park film back in 1993 and in the first Jurassic World film. The kids find that in the abandoned section of the park. If you saw Jurassic World as well, you probably also noticed our gyrosphere doesn't have the sphere of glass that covers it in the movie. That's because that glass never existed in real life. It was created digitally for the entire film using CGI, computer-generated imagery. Speaking of Jurassic movies, we now want to take you to the little island off the coast of Costa Rica known as Isla Nublar, where back in 1993, we built the first Jurassic Park.
Welcome to Jurassic Park.
Here you'll see some of the props and picture cars used in the making of the first 3 films. For example, on the left, that big cage on with the scraped claw marks on the side is from the first movie, used to feed the velociraptors. This boat on the right is from the 3rd movie. On the left, the mobile lab from the 2nd movie, Lost World Jurassic Park. On the right, some cages with live dinosaur. All the cages are empty. We might be in big trouble right now. If you see anything approaching the trap, if you hear any noises near, or duck, duck, duck.
Peace and love.
Alright, now that we're all safely away from the dinosaurs, I want to play a clip from the Lost World Jurassic Park. On this clip, you'll be able to see the mobile lab in action, the same one we just drove by a few moments ago. Both in the movie and in real life, this looks like a very heavy, very sturdy vehicle, but it is actually built almost entirely out of plywood, which makes it very lightweight. We needed it to be lightweight for action sequences like this one. Now there's a few movie magic tricks in this scene. The first one I want to point out is this one. She actually didn't fall at all. That's actually played in reverse. This scene started with her on the glass and she gets pulled up by wires all the way to the top of the platform. When you play it backwards, it looks like she's falling. All these cracks on the glass are completely digital using CGI. And then the cliff she ends up hanging on, that is one of the parking structures here in the studio. The parking structure right behind Soundstage 21. It got dressed up and decorated to look like the cliffside of the jungle. You can also see it's raining a lot in that scene, and that rain helps us build up the suspense in these movies. The thing is, a lot of those scenes were filmed here in our studio in Southern California, where the weather tends to be very sunny and dry. So if we need rain, we have to create it ourselves. We have just arrived into an area known as Old Mexico, and here, with a little bit of thunder and lightning, we want to show you how we make rain for movies and TV. So, take a look on the left. It's about to start raining in 3, 2, 1. That effect is created using an overhead sprinkler system located on top of the trams and on top of the trees. We shoot water up, gravity helps it fall down to the ground almost naturally, and that's exactly how we make rain for movies and television. You may notice a few dry spots here and there, mainly in the middle of the bridge on the left. And if we were filming today, the bridge would be one of the best locations for the camera and the crew. That way they don't get wet while the actors are getting soaked in the rain. We can pick when the rain starts, when it ends, how intense it is. We can also create things like tornadoes, earthquakes, and snowstorms. And we can also send giant flash floods toward you. So, keep your camera straight! Flash flood effect is producing thousands of gallons of recycled water. You can see the same effect in the movie Big Fat Liar with Frankie Muniz, Amanda Bynes, and Paul Giamatti right here on your screens. You can also see the same flash flood in at least 2 music videos. The music video for the song Judas by Lady Gaga, which also stars Norman Reedus, and the music video for the song Bailamos by Enrique Iglesias, the version they made for the movie Wild Wild West with Will Smith. Both of those music videos have giant dance sequences that take place right here in this area with the fountain on the left. This area can also be seen in movies like Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, Nacho Libre with Jack Black, and TV shows like Star Trek Picard on CBS All Access and Westworld on HBO. Now, away from Old Mexico and into the Wild West, this area here is known as 6 Points, Texas, and it's been here since the silent film era. These are some of the oldest sets still standing in all of Hollywood, and I want to show you a cowboy bullet filmed here on the right-hand side of that street with the pickup truck parked on it. Take a look.
This town ain't big enough for the both of us, Jimmy Fallon.
Well, I ain't going anywhere, Jimmy Fallon.
Now look here. Nice folks in this tram don't want no trouble. They just want to check out 6 Points, one of the oldest sets on the Universal line.
I hear this is where John Wayne and Jimmy Stewart shot a few of their westerns.
That's right. That's where I aim to shoot here.
Looks like we got ourselves a Mexican standoff. Lucky shot.
Now what say you mount up and get out of town while the getting's good?
All right. Well, I'll see you again, Fallon.
Or you can count on it, fella. Then get.
This is the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
We just have to talk it out, that's all.
And while these are some of the oldest sets we have in the studio, we still use them for filming all the time. You may have recognized them from movies like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, directed by Quentin Tarantino, starring Brad Pitt, Leonardo DiCaprio, and Margot Robbie. You can also see these in movies like Call of the Wild, Saving Mr. Banks, and Australia. Now, as we exit 6 Points, Texas,